present radio interview. I gave you money out of my own pocket. Wow. Sit down. Shut your mouth. You need to shut your mouth. That's what you need to do. You need to shut your mouth. Got text messages of her offering me her pussy though. Let's do it.
Hi guys, welcome back to BnGTV. I'm your host XCK, and today, across from me today, I have Adreyn from Batchat. Look, I've been waiting for you because I need you to come on here and just clear things up, because I've got so many questions, and so does the people.
Amen.
I'm the voice of the people, by the way.
Amen.
And I've just got to let you guys know, like, so what's going on? How are you anyway?
I'm fantastic, man.
How did you get here today?
I drove.
Was it difficult, easy?
No, not really.
Smooth ride?
Yeah, I'm used to being over these sides of London anyway, so.
Yeah, because of your previous... You know, we know what you used to do. So you used to be on Batchat, for those who don't know. How long was you on Batchat for?
It's been since 2016 now.
Yeah, so that was
2016.
From season 2?
Yeah.
How did you find that whole experience? Because that, I feel like, do you feel like it brought you out as people know you more now because on Batchat?
Yeah, 100%. It was challenging, definitely. But then I feel like I learned so much about what I can tolerate, and how I should be able to kind of understand different people and you know, live in kind of different environments. So it was definitely challenging, but I learned a lot about who I am and what makes me tick. Right.
So let's just start off with the easy questions and get to know you for who you are. Then we're gonna start getting into the more conversational things and things like that. So just, you know, is Adreyn your real name?
No.
What's your real name?
My name's Rashad.
Rashad. Yeah. So where did Adreyn come from?
Okay, so I get to talk about this. So basically, I've always known that I wanted to be a musician. I've always just been in a music family. And when I was growing up, basically my grandmother, she's a devout Christian. So my music name is Adreyn Cash. Okay. And when she found out that my mom was pregnant, she had a vision, and in the vision she said that God told her to name me Cash. My mom said it was money, so she wasn't going to name her child Cash. So she chose kind of a typical name that was kind of used in the family, so Rashad, which is an Arabic name for great leader or something like that. So growing up, I always knew that I needed, like, because I love my grandmother so much, like, I knew that Cash, there had to be a reason why she, you know, God told her that. I was like, anything that I was gonna do, it had to have Cash in it. So I wanted a name. For me, names are very personal. So at the time I was young, but I thought I kind of wanted to keep Rashad as a family thing. So I just found a more Europeanized name that had the same meaning, and then I just made that the kind of flow. So
that's actually that's such a story, because people try to come for you as well, like, that's not even your real name, but
I never kept that a secret. So, you know, so it was definitely unnecessary, I think, when it came up. But again, even when it came up, it was so silly, because when we did the earliest episodes, so when we filmed the audition episodes, my name there was Rashad. It wasn't Adreyn. Do you know what I mean? It only changed to Adreyn once I made the actual cast, and I didn't even know it was going to be Adreyn when I came on the show. It was like the first episode came out and it said Adreyn, and I turned around like, "Rah, you changed the name." But even Azrael, like, when we first got on set, when we was filming, she was like, "New cast Rashad." So it wasn't a secret. It wasn't something I was keeping a secret. So I don't know why they tried to use it against me, really.
They tried to use a lot of things against you. So what country are you from? What's your background, for those who don't know?
I'm Jamaican.
Because look, guys, his hair,
Amen,
I really like it. How many inches? Do you know how long it is?
No.
Because you got longer hair than most people out here. Got longer hair than myself.
Your hair is longer than mine, right?
What's this?
Oh, okay. It's hair though. It's yours.
It's not. But so was you born and raised in Jamaica?
Yeah, I came here when I was 8.
Okay, not bad. And where did you grow up?
So when I first landed here, I landed in East London. So I lived in Walthamstow, and I kind of partly lived in Homerton at the same time.
Okay.
And then when I was about 9, I want to say, we moved to South London. and now I live in Purley. So it's just I've been in South since about 9.
Purley's not South. That's outside London.
Well, I've
Correction.
been around South for the whole of my time here.
I said Purley. That is so far. So you've drove from Purley all the way to here.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Cool. So, how was you like as a kid growing up? Tell us a bit about your ambitions, your inspiration. We know you're into music and very involved in that. You know, what else is there we should know about you?
I'm very involved in politics, history, particularly Black history. I just like knowledge. I feel like I'm one of those people growing up. Like I spent a lot of my childhood like watching documentaries and reading books and just really like asking questions about like my family history, just my country's history. Right. I was enthralled in kind of anything to do with like Black political, you know, kind of sociological type of stuff. So that's outside of the music. I think that's my biggest interest is just like knowledge of like self, Black history, world history. And I really like space. Okay. Like the galaxy stuff. So I just really like knowledge.
All right. Okay, so you just want to know it all kind of thing.
I know that I can't know it all, but I just like I'll hear something and I'll be like, yo, this is interesting.
Curious.
You know what I mean? And I'll be like, so I think that would be a good way to summarize me as a kid, is like curious. Yeah,
very curious. So obviously, you've been on things like Batchat. We've seen you, so you're more like a personality that we know on like a social media personality. I want to ask you about your confidence. That's one thing, because I can see that you've got this confidence to come out. Like you're very bold about certain things. You don't really hide it. You're more out there about everything. So why do you feel like you're like that? Is there a reason why you're like that, or is that just you and you don't even realize you do it?
You know what? I don't know. Like in my family, I've never. I think in a lot of families, I feel like perhaps there's little nuances that are said and things that are said to their kids that kind of squash their creativity or squash their freedom into kind of expressing themselves as who they are or stuff like that. Within my family, like I've just always been me. Do you know what I mean? And my family has always encouraged me to be vocal about stuff that I don't like, or to be the smartest that I can be, or to be the best that, you know, whatever it is. Like my mom always told me, like, whatever you want to be, you can be. Just believe. Do you know what I mean? So when I come out of like that comfort zone of my family, and then people say, "How are you so confident?" I'm like, shouldn't I be? You know what I mean? So I don't think it was anything specific that makes me that confident. I feel like I was just raised to just be free, and that's what I like.
Because you seem to have like no cap at all. Like
no.
Sometimes you feel like, sometimes you catch Adrian when he's thinking it, he says it.
And that's a problem. That's something that I'm learning to curb.
Okay.
Because not everything that's good for speak is good for talk. But for the most part. And I think as I've grown up, I've been more kind of controlled in how I say what I think. Like, you know what I mean? As opposed to just verbal diarrhea. I'm a bit more controlled with it. So hopefully.
So let's talk about you, Mr. Adrian. I'm gonna just talk about all the allegations and all the things that is out there people would want to know. Let's talk about you being mixed up, okay? Because obviously sources say that, you know, there was a bit of times in the house or in the villa, wherever you lot went, it's like you lot were a bit mixed up with it. You were a bit mixed up. You were here and there, like you was talking to the girls, and then I don't know, what was that all about?
That's not true. That's not true. To be honest, I feel like I would hope anyway that they would tell you, like, for me. And I think Carnage touched on it when he was talking to them in the pool. Like, I'm a very reserved person naturally, innit? So I think anything that was seen on camera, I think sometimes can be taken out of context. I've never been the type of person to take information from here and take it to there. Like, I'm not that type of person. I'm very trustworthy. And I think the reason why people were saying that is because obviously there was an instance where obviously Mark said it and Esther said it in a little kind of thing that they did that I didn't know about. But that for me was even shocking because we were chilling just the day before, even 20 minutes before that, you know what I mean? And I didn't think that they had any issues. But for me, I would like to think of myself as somebody like I don't like to be in a environment where anybody feels uncomfortable because of me.
Right.
So if I'm here and you're here, I'll do my best to make everybody feel comfortable. And for a lot of people, they might look at that as maybe I'll come here and talk to them and then go and bring them, but that's not my character at all.
So how is the relationship between you and all the Batchat cast members that you met there when you got onto Batchat? So that's
like for me, in terms of how they feel about me, I don't know, but for me, I don't have any animosity towards anybody.
right.
I try not to hold on to that kind of energy because it doesn't do me well. You know what I mean? As I said, I've learned like so much from being on the show. And for me, just because like I can not have beef with you and, you know, wish you well and you're staying over there. So there's certain people like Nunu that I'm very close with, but then other people, do you know what I mean?
Nunu?
I love them from a distance.
I'm surprised that you say Nunu because
come on, don't. Nunu's my people.
Of
man.
course, I don't have anything. Do you know what? I actually respect her because of how she grinds and hustles in it. Like she's got her own business and that.
Amen.
And despite
to all my black girls,
despite everything she does, she still gets people following her and everything. So my issue is not with, it's just the relationship you and Nunu. How did you get to this relationship? Because before it wasn't the best.
You know what?
Before
as I
you
said,
lot were exposing each other like
nearly every day now.
Oh,
do you know what I mean?
good.
So it's like she's very genuine, and then on top of that, when my mom can look at me and say, "Yo, you know what? I like Nunu," despite everything, my mom be like, "There's something genuine about Nunu," and I trust her. So I was like, "Yeah, I really do like Nunu."
So how's she doing today then?
She's fantastic.
Hey, well, let's go. So let's talk about season 2, when everyone decided to come for Adreyn. I was not happy. Like I was like, oh my gosh, why is everyone drawing him out? And then everyone was like, it's because you drew everyone out. That's why no one likes you. What's that all about? What do you know what I mean? Is that because are we going back to the confidence that you don't hold back what you say? Well, when you was that hold back person.
I don't. That's the. Speaking of it, that I think like even the idea of me drawing anybody out, I think if anybody will truthfully tell you about me on set, I don't trouble people. 100%. I swear on my life, I don't trouble people. And me and them had no beef on set.
Right.
Period. The only 2 issues that we had on set was the one with Lucas.
Right.
And like weeks after the one with Wale.
Okay.
Outside of that, I'll be on set, I'll speak to everybody, everyone would speak to me, we would laugh, we would joke. So when I hear stuff like that, I'm like, what Batchat were you filming? Because the one that I was filming, we didn't have beef every week. Do you know what I mean? Swear to God, we did not have beef.
Realistically, yeah.
And the thing with Lucas happened literally like on the first weekend that we filmed. So, and then there was like a 6-week period between that being filmed and then the issue with Wale. So when people say, oh yeah, you draw people out, I don't know where that narrative came from. I'm not sure why that was being spread, but that wasn't true. Right. And on top of that, I feel like, again, this is about growth in it, but when I first got there, I'm the type of person, like, I give the energy that I receive. Right. Period. Do you get what I'm saying? So, and I'm a Jamaican, so we work off this thing called spirit. So if I walk into a room and somebody's energy is just off towards me, then I don't go out of my way to kind of be in your area. Because I already sense like there's something that's just not for me here. And that's the energy I kind of felt like from Lucas, from literally when we first met. It just felt as though he didn't like me. And so for me, I was like, okay, cool, I'll say hi, I'll keep it cordial and cool, but I don't really. And I feel like for some people, I think coming into it, I think they probably saw me as somebody that was like, that saw myself as superior to them, or you know, maybe they just thought I was standoffish. But for me, it was just me being me and me saying, yo, if I feel negativity, I'm just gonna shut that off. So that's why, like, I feel like one of the main reasons why me and Lucas had the beef was because I feel like I felt something, and maybe we just misread each other, and it was, you know what I mean.
And Lucas comes across, even watching him, I've never met him. Yeah, he comes across intimidating. Just watching him, and it's like,
yeah,
okay.
when I first got there, he was like, I was like, raw, because obviously all I'd seen at that point was what I'd seen on
season 1.
Yeah, so I went into it like raw. You know, and he was that, and I was like, okay, cool, so maybe I'm just not his type of people, so let me keep my distance. And I think that's kind of why the beef between he and I happened. It was just, I think, miscommunication, misunderstanding.
Right. You had people like Esther on the floor at the season 2 reunion. You had Gogo. I have to give it to Gogo because he never said anything to you, and Gogo haven't really had an issue, have you?
No, but you know what? To be fair, Gogo and I had actually resolved the issue that we had way before the reunion. Okay. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And it's not so much that me and Gogo had an issue. I think, if I remember correctly, the issue that he had was because on the day I'd finished work and I'd seen what Lucas had said about me in the episode, and then I tweeted. Okay. And he was like, "We told you not to tweet." Okay. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that was it. But then we cleared that up. Do you know what I mean? And then from there, we've just been cool.
So let's talk about this pizza situation. I don't even know about your 2 tough. It's just what my sources are telling me, like the whole pizza situation. What happened from your perspective, like from your side? What happened?
Alright, cool. I'm gonna say this. This pizza ain't got nothing to do with me.
Okay.
Yeah. After that, basically, like 2 days before that, obviously I'd seen what Mark had said about me, so he and I weren't talking too much, but we shared a room.
Okay.
And I must have walked into the room, and I can't remember who was there. I think maybe him, Esther, somebody else was there. But he said to me, like, I've got a pizza. I think I put on my shoes and I was going down the stairs, and he was like, are you going to the kitchen? I was like, yeah. He was like, can you check the pizza for me? So I said, alright, then cool. So I went downstairs, and just as I gone downstairs now, I saw Atilia, picking like pepperoni bits off the pizza, and just so I said to her, I said, yo, like that's Mark's pizza, like he told me to come down here and check it, like don't eat the pizza. Yeah. She was like, no man, we're hungry. So she just continued. I said, well, it's not my own shot. The Nigerians are rubbing off on me. But I said, it's not my own. It's not my own, right? So I said, alright, cool. But by the time I'd gone up, at the time when I was talking to her about it, Chioma was there.
Okay. And
Chioma was like, no, that's Mark's pizza. And so Chioma must have gone upstairs and told Mark. I then gone upstairs and I said to Mark, yo, Mark, check your pizza. Just go and check your pizza. He was like, no, what's wrong with it? I said, just go and check your pizza. I ain't got nothing to say because people are going to say I'm dragging names, but please just go and check your pizza. He was like, I already know because someone told me in it. But I said, well, look, go and check your pizza. Yeah. So he went downstairs, checked the pizza. Obviously, he'd seen what happened, and that's how it's. But it's not because I went up there. He actually told me to go and check on the pizza.
Yeah.
So
what's you and Mark's relationship now?
There is no relationship.
You don't talk to Mark?
No,
you don't talk to him. Okay, so your music. Apart from Batchat, you actually have music.
Yeah.
And that's actually has that been an issue as well on Batchat? Like, have they tried to use that, like, go and make your music?
Not really. Not really. If anything, most of them are quite
supportive.
Not really.
Oh.
If I'm telling the truth. Some people are. Esther, when my album came out, she posted the promo trailer.
Okay.
Nu's been quite supportive. Lucas has been quite supportive. B Money's retweeted some stuff. But those are the only people and Chioma, sorry, before she kills me. But those are the people who actually actively support in terms of like showing love and sharing it. But most people probably don't really engage, and I don't, like, if they don't care for me, why would they share my material,
So I need to talk to you about your vengeance as well, like your revengeance kind of, because you had this time where you felt like you just didn't care anymore, like, you know what, it spilled the tea. You came on the reunion and you just exposed, after I paid for your journey home, after you were sending me this, everybody was just, the whole place collapsed, really. Did you see it? If you watched it, everyone was crazy. Exactly. You had Esther on the floor and everything. What's that all about? Why did you feel like at one point you don't even care? Like, nah, that's it. Enough is enough. What was it?
You know what? I feel like with anybody, yeah, there's like a cap to how much they can take.
Take, of course.
And I felt like not only was I dealing with like the negativity that I was facing at Batchat with at that time with certain individuals, it's like you can always feel negative energy even if people don't speak it. Do you know what I mean? And when you're going to somewhere and you know people don't like you, and you know people might be talking about you, or you know people might smile at you, but they don't really care. You feel all of that energy, you know what I mean? And I think dealing with not only that, but then dealing with your own just real world struggles. Do you know what I mean? I just left university. I just left my job to pursue like entertainment stuff. So I was working corporate, and then I left that to do the bus driving stuff. Okay. So that I could chase a dream. And that was like a major pay cut. So there was all of this kind of change happening in my life, and then I would go to set as well and deal with just unnecessary negativity towards me. But for the most part, I could kind of like push it away. Do you know what I mean? But when we got to the reunion, like suddenly people that I had no beef with just were acting weird towards me. And then you get out on stage and you hear all of these things and you're like, wait, what? Like, we was just backstage like 2 seconds ago. You didn't say none of this. We held hands. We prayed. Do you know what I mean? And then we come out on stage and you're saying all of these things. And then I'm looking back at the months that I spent to film these things with these people. And I'm like, so where was all of these
things coming from?
How comes we sat and we laughed and we joked and we followed each other on Twitter and we tweeted all of these things? And do you know what I mean? How comes we did all of that for months for now you to just sit here in front of these cameras and all of these people to suddenly like throw me under the bus? I could understand Lucas, because again, me and him, we weren't on good pages like throughout the season. But other people, I was confused, man. I was lost.
And then there's also your sexuality that people try to come for, that people were saying that, you know, you're not straight and you're this, and which is not a problem to those who aren't and whatever. How did you feel about all of that?
I felt like, you know what, the way I am is like, I've always been raised to just accept people for who they are. I don't like the way I operate in terms of how I allow people in my life is like, if you come to me a particular type of way, I either accept you as you are or I don't. Do you get what I'm saying? I don't need everybody in my life, and everybody doesn't need me in their life. I don't accept people in my life with the intentions that I'm going to change or question or belittle or do all of that kind of thing. I feel like it was awkward. Do you know what I mean? Because I feel like no other male on the season ever got those questions. And let's be real, anybody can be gay. Do you know what I mean? Like people are saying, oh yeah, you dress and you're this and you're that. Anybody there could be gay. But I felt like I felt like my sexuality wasn't necessarily a thing about caring for me. Like even on this season, there was this big thing about Adreyn's sexuality, and I was like, it's not because you care for me or you feel like it's because you just want to slander somebody's sexuality, and I don't feel like that's appropriate. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like we should embrace people, we should accept people, we should love people. Do you know what I mean? Like if I was gay and I wanted to tell somebody on that cast, like 100% I would definitely go to them and be like, yo, do you know what I mean? Like you wouldn't need to whisper it or do all of these things. So I just felt like it was unnecessary. I felt like it was quite childish, because we're big people.
So to clear the record, what is your sexuality?
Check Batchat season 4. Check Batchat season 4 and you see the answer.
I can't do that. So how is your relationship with most of the people in the house? Like, I'm gonna give you names and it's like we're gonna play a game now. You just, from a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being very bad, 10 being amazing. Okay. I'm just gonna throw names of who I know off the top of my head. So how is the relationship between you and Omar?
-70. There's no relationship there.
Oh, really?
No. No, why are you saying it like that? There's no relationship.
Because I thought maybe you two would have blessed it out. That's the thing.
I haven't seen him in years, and I don't go out of my way.
How's the relationship with you and Azraya?
I haven't spoken to her in a while, but I don't think there's beef. I hope not. I think she's well. I hope everything is good.
Who else can I say? Choma.
I would want to say a 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
Choma seems like a nice one.
She is. She's good.
She's understanding.
Yeah.
How's your relationship with Miss Esther?
I would say maybe a 6.
Okay.
We don't speak a lot, but we're on. I think I would say we're on better terms since the last season. Yeah.
What about Mr. B Money, Mr. Funny? Find him funny.
About 7.
7.
Yeah.
Mark already.
-80. I keep doing these random.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
right.
No.
Wale, how's your relationship with Wale?
Same as Omar's, -70. There's no beef, but there's no relationship there. Yeah.
Okay. What about Lucas?
You know what? I want to say about, what did I give Chioma? 7.
Yeah.
I said Esther's a 6.
Yeah.
I speak to Lucas a little bit more than I speak to Esther, so I'd say
7.5.
7.5. Yeah.
Who else? Like Riva, Miss Riva. What's your relationship like with Miss Riva?
Maybe a 5.
Okay.
Not bad.
And Nunu, we know it's a 10.
Yeah, of course. Nunu's
Who
my
else
people.
am I missing? Mr. Gogo.
Yeah, me and Google is cool.
Yeah. Who else?
Yeah.
I'm missing out on quite a few of them. I forgot. You wasn't there when DJ Matthews was there, is he?
Yeah, I was.
Oh,
Me and Ayo, he played at my launch party actually for my album.
Okay. How
so
is your relationship with Ayo?
That's DJ Matthews.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your relationship with like Mr. Batchat and that, like the
Andy.
Yeah.
We're always cool, man.
Of course. So
Andy's
are you
fantastic.
going back?
I don't know that they're coming back, but if they are, I don't think that I'm gonna come back. I think for me, after we went to Cyprus, I'm not sure that there's anything else that I can give to the show. Like, I feel like I've given everything.
Enough, yeah.
There's no more seasons of questioning my sexuality.
Yeah.
There's no more. Do you know what I mean? Like, what else is there? Do you get it?
So, in general, in total, since you went on to Batchat from season 2, what was your feeling? Like, what would you say your feeling is?
In terms of
The whole thing, the whole show.
how I think it went
Yeah.
for me.
How you felt towards it? Would you say it was an experience? Like,
Yeah.
yeah. But in your own words, I'm answering your questions.
Batchat was a once in a lifetime experience. It was definitely something that taught me a lot about myself and about how I'm actually a fantastic person in terms of tolerating other people. But it also told me that, and B Money said this to me, funny enough. It also taught me that I need to not kind of suppress myself when people, like, for example, there'll be the sexuality stuff. There was a lot of conversations being had behind my back.
Yeah.
And obviously when I would see certain clips back, I'll be like, rah, like, that's really what you had to say when you share a room. Do you know what I mean? It'll be stuff like that. And I was like, yo, look, I'm not coming to the reunion. Like, I'm not going to talk to these people ever again. I can't believe they said that. Like, this is so rich. He was like, bro, like, say what you have to say to them. Like, if you're upset about it, say, like, stop holding. Because I'm the type of person, and I think this was why you saw, like, the reaction at the first reunion was because I'm like a volcano. Like, I hold things, and then
you
suddenly
literally
it's
are.
just boom.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And he was like, yo, you can't be like that. Just say what you have to say. So it's taught me that there are times where I just need to kind of say stuff as it's happening, as opposed to kind of leaving it to fester and holding on to negative energy. Would I do it again? Yeah.
Because I feel like now you're prepared, so you're gonna.
Yeah, now you know like, yeah. But yeah, it was an experience.
So as you said that people were saying things behind your back as well. Going back onto this, I think Riva must have said some things as well, like behind your back, off camera. Well, you wasn't there anyway when she was saying what she was saying about your sexuality. How did you feel about that? If you saw it,
there was only one moment that I kind of wasn't at all pleased about, was because I spoke about me being sexually molested as a child on the show this season, and for me that's something that's kind of, it's a very personal thing,
Of course.
you know, and it's something that I told her before, so it's not, she's not stranger to the information, but what I didn't like was there was a bit in like the confessional bits where we were on the balcony, and she makes this absurd connotation between me being molested as a child, me being different, and my sexuality, and asked if there was like a triangle between the three, and I thought that was unnecessary, because you've never asked me that before, and we've had like deeper conversations about this before, but then what irritates me was she actually asked me like, who are you? And I said, I'm just me. And she's like, yeah, what does that mean? I was like, I like girls. And then she in her confessional, she was like, why you emphasizing that you like girls? Like, no, but that wasn't, but you asked me that, and that's the reason why I said that. And I thought like, I didn't like that at all. That for me, I was like, that's not nice, because it just seems as if you were trying to be a part of the kind of narrative of me being confused, or me being so, you know, but we've never had that conversation, so for me it was a bit confusing as to why she did that. But again, I let that stuff go. It's not something that I'm gonna hold on to. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, that was
that's what it was. Anyways, so at least we know how your experience was, how you felt, and you've actually kind of like said most of the things. We're gonna move on to your music again now. And you dropped an album. That's very good. An album of how many tracks?
So there's 8 songs on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And all these songs, tell us what they are. Tell us what each of them mean. And
so the whole project is, so at the time, like I spoke openly about suffering like depression and stuff like that. So I felt like in my life after university there was a lot of things that was like elusive to me. So that was, I'm single, so relationships, I ain't got no kids, so kids. My career, in terms of obviously leaving a corporate employment to kind of doing bus driving, which is still good, don't get me wrong, but it's not what I went to university for. So it was like there was this whole kind of confusion in trying to translate who I was in university and who I have been building myself up to be, and then leaving university and not really having that comfort zone, you know, of like lectures and studios and stuff like that. So I was like really depressed. So I wanted to write a project that was about kind of shattering my own illusions. On top of that, kind of shattering the illusions of I think what a lot of people would think about me based on what they saw on Batchat and stuff like that. So I started with the single Angels Lie last year, which has been picked up by major Spotify playlists. It's been played on BBC Radio 1 Extra. Shout out to DJ Ace. And that started doing good. So then I just decided to do like a whole project, kind of telling a story about all the things that I just felt like were elusive in my life, and all the things that I wanted and that I felt like I couldn't attain. So we have songs like Angels Lie, Breathe, which is literally about depression. You have Strange Fruit, which is about kind of unrequited love, like wanting love from somebody that don't kind of love you back. Then there's Gravity, which is about like falling in love with someone that you probably shouldn't be falling in love with, you know. And the kind of list goes on like throughout like that.
Okay, I need to get my hold of the album myself.
Amen.
How well is it doing now though?
It's doing fantastic.
That's
so it's been picked up by major blogs across the world. And we're actually going to be on billboards. So by the time this is, you should see my face on a billboard.
Congratulations. All my days I'm sitting across a celebrity.
Not even.
So where can we find your music and that?
So you can find it's literally on all streaming services. It's on iTunes, Apple Music,
and
Google
what's the
Play.
album called?
It's called Illusions, and it's by Adreyn Cash. ADREYNCASH. Illusions. Yeah.
Perfect. I'm gonna go and purchase that.
Amen.
Don't worry. So another thing I wanted to ask you is Adreyn single?
Very single.
So what, are you looking for a girl?
Slightly. I feel like, you know, I want the right one to just come. So I'm not closed off to anything. I'm
Who's
just
the
kind
right
of baiting.
one? What's the right one?
Me, I don't know, Sha, when she comes.
I feel like you need a Nigerian with this all this shit. Spilling. You need a Nigerian girl
you know what?
there.
I've been around like the Batchat for so long that it just comes out.
Most of them are Nigerian. It is true. You need one. I'm telling you. You need one to also just pattern you sometimes. You know.
Hey.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Where are you from?
I'm from Congo.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry. But so now you're actually a bus driver, and I see your rants on Instagram, and I'm just dying because the rant that you had was like, people try to come from me about bus driving. Let me tell you something. When people come and tap their cards and it doesn't go through. How is that career for you, being a bus driver?
I'm very thankful for it, simply because it provided me an income when obviously I left my job and tried to pursue entertainment, which obviously is doing well as well. But bus driving is doing very well. It's not something that I want to be doing for much longer though.
Of course.
But even now, like it's opening much avenues. Like even with the bus driver rants, like I've never seen the reaction that so many people have had to that rant, and it was literally like just a spur of the moment thing. I was just like, I'm bored. Let me just do
your
it.
Little break.
Yeah, and you know, it's opened like another facet of kind of reaching people and connecting to people. So I have to thank God for it, you know.
They say like you see bus drivers, they get paid bare money. Are you working for TFL? Is it TFL?
Well, we are under TFL.
Okay.
So TFL is the mother of everything, and then you have like
but
little.
They say bus drivers get paid bare money. Like, is that not?
No.
That's a fib, innit?
Well, it depends.
Okay.
It depends. I think the longer you've been in the industry, is the more money you make.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm only 2 years deep. I'm making all right money.
You look like you're okay. You drove from here to. You drove from.
But I've got money though. I shouldn't have said that. But anyway, I wouldn't say I come from an affluent family, but I've never been starving. Thank God. You know what I mean? Like my family definitely provided. So
if you have money, you say it. You've got money. The hell, you've got money. The hell.
My parents obviously taught me good money management. I'm still learning, but I'm good with money. I try to be anyway.
That's good, and I hope all the best for you, because you seem like a homeless guy. You don't want trouble, but the way people just make you look. Like, I would say, personally, I feel like Batchat's a show to kind of like bring up people's sides. Like, you see every type of side. You see the nice side, the caring side, then you see the angry side, then the emotional side. So I feel like it's good to see that in a person.
I've even come and cried.
Yeah, you have. You have been emotional. How can I forget about that? The main one, you've been emotional. Tell us why you've had them breakdowns. Like, why?
I wouldn't call them breakdowns. You know, I feel like I'm actually just an emotional person anyway. But for me, I feel like because my circle, my family, my friends are so small,
right,
I've always been afforded the ability to kind of be a bit more emotional.
Okay, yeah.
Whereas when you're in like a Batchat setting, those people are emotionless.
Yeah.
A lot of the time. Do you know what I mean? So it's like I've come there and I bought into the idea that it's like a family, and because I'm allowed to kind of be emotionally free in my family, when I'm there, I'm like,
I need to cry, man.
you know what I mean? But it's not so. You know what? I encourage black people to emote.
Yeah.
And the reason is because we know that like suicide is going up in the black community, especially between young black men. So I'm not saying it's simply because they don't emote, but I'm saying like if you've got those feelings, let them out. You know. So it's cringe to watch. It's cringe for me to watch. But for me, I think in that moment, I definitely needed it, and I think in that moment it was beautiful, because I think hearing them say all of those good things after where we're coming from, especially like Lucas, where we're coming from to where we are, it was just like a beautiful moment, and I think I needed that slightly. But I'm just an emotional guy, man.
Fair enough. There's people, as you said, there's emotionless and then there's emotional people, so we can't come and kill ourselves. But it was actually really nice actually having you, talking to you, speaking, and just catching up and knowing what's real with the real Adreyn.
Thank you very much.
And not
for
what we have
having me.
seen on TV or Batchat, whatever. And I wish all the best. Even if you do go back to Batchat, I'll be there supporting anyway. Don't worry.
Amen.
I don't like the way people come and victimize you. But anyways, where can we find you on social media?
All my social medias are I am Adreyn. I am Adreyn. Yeah.
Make sure you guys follow him on every social media. And